Today I'm going to be showing you how I gave our living room a little bit of a facelift with no reno and no demo needed, and it's all thanks to our sponsors today over at LG, which they also agreed to do a giveaway for 20 of you guys to win the vacuum I'm going to be showing you in a little bit. Our living room doesn't have any sort of personality. When we decorated it 6 years ago, it was a reflection of Paul and I at the time in our relationship, just wanting to make a house a home, but also not really knowing each other's personalities. Also, 6 years ago, I really didn't know how to use any power tools. I wasn't really into interior decorating, but we just gave it our best shot, right? We moved in, just making it a quote unquote cozy zone that we ended up never really using because it's not very welcoming in our opinion. It's much better than the actual before. When Paul bought the house, he just took out the table, changed out the couch, and then we changed the wall color and added drapes, which was all done before I had a YouTube channel. I do have an example of painting and changing drapes in my guest bedroom makeover, so we're just gonna kind of skip forward that step and I'll link it down below for you. Things to note that I am not going to be changing are the drapes, because those are from restoration and they were quite the investment and they're stunning. So why do I need to buy new ones? Don't fix something if it's not broken. That wall decor piece is absolutely stunning. That is from Home Goods, again, 6 years ago. They do have things that are currently like that as well right now, but I've just never really seen a wooden piece like that, so I wanted to keep that as a focal point. And then of course the couch, because it is, once again, it was an investment. It is something that I don't need to get rid of and I don't need to update. It works for the space. I just need to change the things around it. I choose to donate the decor that I do not use to the Veterans of America. They actually come and pick it up for you, so it's super convenient. I'll leave the link down below for you guys of the service that I use. So my main focus was just to package that up, get that to the side, and clear out this space entirely. I'm handling the space like outward in, so when I pulled everything away, I realized that the drapes really needed some love.
I want to point this out to you. I shot my blueprint show here in this room and they needed to take the drapes off. And when they installed them back on, I didn't realize why these looked so messy, but it's because they didn't take the time to group the back end properly onto each hook. So this is not properly hung up. I took the time to redo all of these ones, and this is what they look like when you properly do them. So see how they're nice and flush? This is the proper way, proper, not proper whatsoever. So my focus right now is just to fix these drapes, because also there's too much excess and I want to make that flush to the floor so they don't bunch up on the bottom.
There are actually a lot of different styles of drapes. These are pinch pleat at the top, and I just like how crisp and clean it is. Towards the bottom with the excess, I didn't want to cut and no-sew these drapes because I wanted to have an option to be able to reuse these in the future if the length were to work. So I grabbed some fashion tape and just cut down some pieces, stuck it on the back end of the curtain, and folded it to be flush with the floor. So no sewing, no cutting, no permanent change to be shorter. If I'm going to reuse these in a future room, I can simply unfold the two pieces and I have longer drapes once again. But the main reason why I wanted them to be flush to the ground, because you're not really going to see them behind the couches. With that extra length, it caused everything to kind of bunch up on the bottom, which made it floofy and bunching up top. It didn't give you those straight, nice, crisp lines with the drapes folding on one another and just being aesthetically pleasing. They just looked really messy. That fixed that problem. Callie could absolutely care less, but it did spiff up the room by taking the time to do those two simple changes. It is out with the old. I'm going to get it washed and donated, and in with the new. I did take a little bit of a risk going with a more neutral rug. That yellow was just a little bit too much for me, so I definitely wanted to tone down and find an accent color somewhere else. With this being a brand new rug, I was very interested to use the LG Cord Zero, which is our sponsor for today, on here and see what it can pick up. Before we dive into this, LG did not plan this at all. We just hit 250,000 subscribers, so I thought it was really awesome that we partnered up to do a giveaway. 20 of you can win one of these vacuums by following all the rules in my description box down below. I'm so excited to see who wins, but let me tell you more. I feel like a game show right now. Let me tell you what you're going to be winning. The first really cool thing that I thought LG did is when you open the box, there's like this fact sheet that basically gives you the perfect breakdown of everything you need to know about this. What I thought was kind of unique was that this is a portable storage vacuum. So it offers 3 different ways to store the entire product without requiring to drill holes into the wall. I did not expect this vacuum to pack this much of a punch inside its packaging because it just didn't seem like all of this could fit. What I noticed was like the body, the dustbin, is appropriately sized to maneuver, and it's just lighter overall weight, making it easy to actually reach higher areas overhead when needed with this thing. This has a long battery life as they provide two 40-minute batteries, so you get 80 minutes total cleaning time. It comes with 3 different nozzles to use: the Power Punch, the Power Floor, and the Power Carpet nozzle. There is an adjustable pole length which allows for more flexibility with accommodation to your height. I didn't figure this out to the end, which you will see, but I'm keeping it honest with you guys the whole time.
This whole time!
But we will get back to that a little bit later. I decided to store this the freestanding way with the stand that came in the box because it has the most storage in my opinion. Also, I love the fact that it's not drilled into my wall and I can move it upstairs if things get a little bit more dirty up there and we're using it more, or I can put it in our cleaning closet downstairs. I find it really natural to turn on and off this vacuum because they have one-touch control. Where you're holding it to like push the vacuum is where you turn it on and off with the touch of a thumb. With my excitement in the next clip, I didn't mention that this rug is brand new and this is what it picked up. It's pretty nasty.
Had to take the nozzle off and show you. This is legitimately just from vacuuming that one rug with that attachment. It literally picked all of this. Oh my god, let's dump it out and see what it just picked up from this rug.
This isn't where you take out the dust, but when you unscrew the top, you're going to see the washable cyclones and filters, which are easy to maintain to clean away dirt, keep the vacuum running at its best. I legit was freaking out. I wanted to put it on a paper towel and really look at it for whatever reason. Don't forget that you can also win. 20 of you can win this vacuum by following all the details in the description box down below.
Are you joking me? Oh.
Sofa tables aren't just great for larger spaces. They are awesome for small spaces as well. And you can definitely go on Pinterest and find a ton of inspiration if you want one with legs. But the more I researched it and looked at my space, I realized I didn't have to go all crazy building one of these. I just DIY'd something that worked for our space and it is a lot less work. I picked up an outlet box, a black faceplate alongside a USB outlet and 4-inch brackets and a 1x6x6 piece of common board. Length and depth of this is totally up to you and your space. This is a 6-foot long board being 6 inches wide and I just needed it to be a little bit larger than the outlet box. Found the center of the board, which is 3 feet, marked, put the outlet box there and traced the entire thing. I used my speed square to create a rectangle because I don't want to be cutting out those lips on the end with my multi-tool. I just went in and cut out just the space for the box to actually fit within, and then we're going to route out those little lips because we want to be able to attach it to the back of the wood. I used a straight router bit to go into those lips and just work my way down to like 1/4 of an inch of wood. It's super thin, but it's just enough for the ends of those outlet boxes to press up against and attach to. I did realize I needed to route out just that little dot area to have that USB outlet be able to screw into the outlet box securely. I switched my router bit to a roundover and just went over the edges of that piece of wood. It not only just cleans it up a bunch, but it does make this super easy DIY look a little bit more expensive in my opinion. I wiped the pieces down with a tack cloth before going in with an early American stain and letting that sit overnight to dry. I again went back in as I did with the coffee table with an interior satin finish polyurethane to ensure that it was weatherproofed, moisture-proofed, all the things. When this was completely dry, and you'll know it's completely dry because when you touch it, it is not tacky whatsoever, I flipped it upside down, added some E6000 to where I routed out those edges for that outlet box because I realized that I didn't have small enough screws to screw it in underneath the wood. I could be doing this completely wrong, but I just wanted to kind of figure it out as I went. This did work though. Home Depot actually sells these 3-prong extension cords that have the 3 open wires that you need on the back end to do some DIY electrical. So I bought one of those. I've linked it down below for you. And I'm just pushing it through one hole of the back, pulling it through the front because we're going to be attaching the outlet to it. On the back of this outlet, it tells you where the wires go. So the hot one is the black, the neutral is the white, and then the green is the ground, which attaches to the green nut on the bottom. When everything was attached, I just pushed it into the outlet box, attached it with the 2 screws, and then put the faceplate right on top, and you can see how instantly it just goes to looking kind of janky to nice and sleek. Now you have this outlet and a shelf combination that is attached to the extension cord that has the 3 prongs on the end that you'll plug into the wall and be able to have an outlet you can actually reach. I use my stud finder to always try to find as many studs as possible that I can screw directly into. That just gives it the most secure hold, but if you aren't lucky enough like me right here, you just have to buy the appropriate drywall screws and appropriate weighted drywall anchors. There's different levels of weight. I would always opt to get the one that can hold the heaviest amount of weight. I used wood the same thickness to kind of measure where I wanted these shelves to go, and I did it right underneath the molding, like the trim of the window. For those of you that are new to my channel, this is my dog, Callie. She is an English bulldog, but she is a micro English bulldog, and I can't help but smush her face every 5 seconds. I'm surprised I get anything done. These corner braces do come with screws, and if they work with the thickness of your wood, great, but just make sure they're not too long because they'll go through the top of that shelf and you'll see it. So I actually had to pull some out of my scrap collection of bits and bobs of screws, and I found someone short enough that I could screw in without freaking out of it going through the top. After it is done being installed, I plugged it into the wall, pushed the couch back, add a little bit of decor, and I also made a second one. I got so excited to go around our entire couch, plugged in my phone, and it worked. And I just am in love with it. Now that we have that out of the way, I focused on a couple other DIYs to kind of luxe up the space a bit. Number one, I grabbed me some magic erasers and just scrubbed where all of these marks were from my previous side tables. They were just like rubbing, I guess, throughout the entire 6 years, causing all these things. I thought I was gonna have to repaint, which I hate doing, but magic erasers saved the day, so don't sleep on those. I then paid some love and attention to our fireplace that we never use. I went in and started vacuuming with the LG Cord Zero, and no, I'm not trying to find ways to plug this vacuum into this makeover. This is legitimately how natural this vacuum was working for me. They have this thing called a combination tool. It's just a nozzle that has like a hard tip, and it wasn't working for cleaning this fireplace. They also have a crevice tool attachment that has bristles that you can extend and just really sweep and vacuum all these cobwebs. You can see the difference of how much it picked up on the right hand side versus the left of it just being dirty. When this was all clean, I went in and taped off around the gold portion of the fireplace, and I am going to be going in with some high heat Rust-Oleum that I've used previously in our master bedroom. I would say just double check, obviously, read the label, make sure you consider how much you're using your fireplace. We in particular do not use our fireplaces a ton, but this does withstand heat up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But just be cautious, always read the labels, make sure it's going to be working for your project, and I just tarped it off and painted it. I thought I was going to have to do way more coats, but I only ended up having to do 2. For not having the budget to be able to rip this out and put the fireplace of my dreams there, I was totally happy with this simple upgrade. The gold just looked a little bit cheap. I decided to put a wicker basket that I found at Home Goods alongside 2 blankets from Home Goods to create a little cozy corner, and then on the left hand side I put a new toy basket, and I actually switched over from metal to ceramic bowls per a tip from one of you guys, also from Home Goods, and made a little Callie corner. As far as the shelves to the left-hand side, I decided that we needed to grow up just a little bit. We had piles of old skate magazines, and again, it just looked messy. So it was a combination of Home Goods and IKEA items. I've actually detailed them all down below in the description box if you're interested as to where I got what exactly. I have this weird thing with trios, so where there were side tables, and now that we created that sofa table behind it and a new coffee table, I could use this as a decorative moment. And yes, I have a fake plant from Home Goods and a lantern from the playroom makeover that I stole for our living room, and then I added a real plant from Home Depot into that wicker decorative basket. To round out this space, I did 2 faux plants on the opposite side just to, again, just bring in this new like cozy vibe with the accent color being green since everything else is very neutral. Miss Callie Bella just still in that corner. She was not having it when I was tearing this apart because typically when I work in my workshop, this is like her penthouse suite, but she doesn't even realize she's getting a total upgrade. I actually kept some of the pillows that I had in my before and just washed the cover. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, or I was just too lazy. And yes, I could definitely keep the ottoman there, but I wanted to open up this space, and truth be told, that ottoman was all sorts of jacked up because Callie would stand on it and bounce off it and it was all scratched. So the coffee table that I built last week, I put in its place, again, decorated with just a simple tray that actually is a wall hanging from Home Goods that I used as a tray, and got some little ceramics from IKEA. Tying that black in from Callie's trim on her pillow, the outlets, and this new chair that I got with the fuzzy pillow that I stole from my office, and also the fireplace paint. I ended up taking down the fan because we never as a family used it, so I did save it. I am going to donate it, but I thought I was gonna be able to put up this light fixture and it just wasn't looking good.
And I just want to move that over. I don't want to do it myself, get it professionally done, wait to invest in a chandelier that I will actually be ecstatic for. Not only ecstatic, to be able to leave here to up our property value for the future owners, hopefully, because it is way better than that ceiling fan that we had there. We never ever used.
After all is said and done and decorated, I went back in with my vacuum that I still at this moment had no idea expanded until the very last second in the corner. I was using it and this happened.
Rachel, this whole time.
I don't even have an excuse for not knowing that it expanded, but I just wanted to keep it 100% with you guys. Moving on, I attached the Power Punch nozzle, which is gentle enough to roll over bed sheets to pick up pet hair and dander. So I did that to the couch and Callie's bed, and then Callie jumped right back on it, and just this nozzle's gonna come in handy. Even though some of the changes are subtle when you're looking at them side by side, you can't ignore the fact that the vibe is completely different. It's just more welcoming, it's not as messy, and it's definitely more adult. Thank you so much to LG for not only sponsoring today's video, but for hosting this giveaway and gifting 20 of these to you guys. All the details are in the description box down below. I hope that you guys enjoyed my weekend refresh of our living room. I really just want to inspire you guys that you don't necessarily have to have an extreme makeover every single time. You can make these tiny tweaks and changes that your family falls in love with. It's your space, and don't you forget that.